Currently going as the 16th outfielder in NFBC redraft data, 65th overall. That puts him right in the middle of the 5th round. And personally, I'm a little bit torn on Polanco. That's my initial reaction. The more I start to think about him, the more I start to talk about him, the more I like him. He gives you so much, but the average isn't going to get any better. He is what he is. He's a 260 hitter. However, if you're going to give me 25-20 potential with a healthy amount of RBI and runs, there's really not a whole lot not to love about that. The reason I'm torn is because his stat line from last year is more along the lines of a top 20 to 25 outfielder, yet he's being drafted as a top 15 one. I don't know that he's a top 15 outfielder. I still think he's like a top 20, top 25 one. If you believe he's got room to grow, then you like the draft value. And you think it's good value because you think he's a top 15 guy. If you think he's around his ceiling, as I do, then you don't think he's got much to expand on from what he's done already. So do you invest in a very good but not great bat as your first or second outfielder? I'm not sure. I don't know how I feel about that. The problem with him finishing as a 25 to 20 to 25 outfielder last year is the guys ahead of him were not all of them, but the guys that crept into that space were one-hit wonders, whereas Polanco is going to be more of a consistent guy. So I don't know if he finishes in the top 15, but he's a guy that at the beginning of the season, you're going to see it coming. You're going to know he's going to be up there, and there's some safety to that. I mentioned the guys that crept in above him, a guy like Adam Duvall, for instance, beginning of the season. Nobody was talking about Adam Duvall. He crept into the top, ahead of Polanco in most leagues. Mm-hmm. So the guys that might creep ahead of Polanco, we don't necessarily know who those guys are yet. Polanco, we at least know is going to be there. So that's my only hesitation with taking him at his current lofty ADP. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, well, coming from Razzball, we are like the high men on Polanco. So I'll easily take him ahead of his ADP. He's probably, he's well within my top 10 to 15 outfielders in terms of, where they're going in the draft, who I'm going after. I do still think there's some upside there. He's got the power. He's got the speed. He could even run a little bit more. I think his batting average could get a little bit better. I don't think it's absurd to think it won't. I think he's a better average hitter than Buxton. Similar profile in terms of, he's not nearly as pull heavy as Buxton, but he is a pull heavy player. I think that's what sort of knocks down his batting average a little bit. But overall, I mean, I really like Polanco. He's my favorite Pittsburgh outfielder. I would rather have him than Marte. I would rather have him than McCutchen this season. He's the guy I want to own in Dynasty going forward. So I know I'm the high man on Polanco, but he's well within my top 25 players probably in redraft.